A very good morning to everyone. I once again welcome you all to the second chapter of yesterday's subject, that is bipolar junction transistors. So here in this chapter, very first we will see the definition of a transistor and its types, as well as we see the construction and the working of the NPN and PNP transistors. Then we study the transistor configurations which it can be acted upon. Basically there will be three circuit configurations will be there in which a transistor can acted upon. Among the three, the very first CB as well as the C configuration will be studied in detail, as well as their input and output characteristics also will be studied. After that, then we study the basic applications of transistors, that is it can be used as a switch and it can be used as an amplifier. We will be studying the detailed operation. After that, the very last two concepts are the thermal runaway as well as the heat sink. Let's begin. Very first we see the definition of a transistor. Transistor is a three-terminal device. Remember, transistor is a three-terminal device, or you can say the transistor is a three-layered and three-terminal semiconductor device. There will be three layers, unlike diode where there were only two layers and only two terminals were there, but here there will be three layers and three terminals will be there, and it consists of two PN junctions. The two PN junctions, how they are formed anta ನಾವು ನೋಡೋದಾದ್ರೆ, the two PN junctions are formed by sandwiching either P type or N type semiconductor between the pair of opposite types. Means I can sandwich a P type between the pair of two N opposite types, or I can sandwich an N type in between the pair of opposite P types. So basically the transistors, there are two types. There can be based on the charge carriers. So what all the charge carriers are involved in the current conductions, based on that one they are classified into two types. Maybe it can be an unipolar junction transistor, or it can be referred as, another type is referred as a bipolar junction transistor. Unipolar junction, in case of unipolar junction transistor, here the current conduction is due to either holes or electrons. But whereas in case of bipolar junction transistor, the current conduction is due to holes as well as electrons. The very simple definitions. So in case of unipolar junctions, only the electrons or holes will be participating in the current conduction. But in case of bipolar junction transistor, the electron and the hole both are involved in the, or both will take an active participation in the current conduction. So in this chapter we will be studying briefly about the bipolar junction transistor. Again, the bipolar junction transistors are classified into two types. Very first one is the NPN transistor and PNP transistor. As you can see the construction here. So in case of NPN transistor, first we shall see the construction of NPN transistor. So as the definition itself says here, there will be two PN junctions, there will be three layers, and there will be three terminals also. Let me move this. Okay, here in case of NPN transistor, a P type slab or a P type bar is sandwiched between two opposite pairs in the sense, so P ge opposite irodandre yavadu N type. A P type layer is sandwiched between two N layers, which is known as, this transistor is known as NPN transistor, and here there will be three terminals. One is known as emitter, another one is known as base, and another one is known as collector. As from the definition, there will be two PN junctions. One junction is between the emitter and base, another junction is formed between the base and collector. Similarly, if you see the construction of PNP transistor, in case of PNP transistor, a N type layer is sandwiched between two P type layers, and again here also there will be three terminals. They are designated as emitter, base and collector, and there will be two junctions, like the one junction is formed between the emitter and base, which is known as AE, and another junction is formed between the collector and base, which is known as JC. So if you are asked to write the detailed construction of any transistor, means, so let us choose the NPN transistor. We will discuss the construction of NPN transistor. So here So as we know that there are three terminals are there: emitter, base and collector. So we should tell, or we should discuss the each terminals in respect to their position, with respect to their doping level, and with respect to their size. First one is emitter. This is the leftmost portion anta helbodu. This is located at the left, this is located towards left, and this emitter position anta helodadaga namu clear aitu, it is located at the left position. Okay, regarding doping, this is heavily doped because the function of emitter is to emit the charge carriers. So charge carriers anta bandaga obviously this is going to emit either electron or it can emit hole. In case of NPN transistor, the emitter is going to emit the electrons, and in case of PNP transistor, the emitter is going to emit the holes. So here the emitter size of the emitter is moderate. It is moderate in size, moderate in the sense it is not large or it is not small, it is moderate in size. Next one is nothing but base. So base, this is nothing but this is going to form a bridge between emitter and collector. So the function of the base is to transmit the electrons or transmit the holes, or transmit in general this base is going to transmit the charge carriers that are emitted from the emitter to the collector. So this is going to simply do a transfer operation. So it will collect the charge carriers that are emitted from the emitter, then the same or the less amount of same are transferred to the collector. So actually this won't transfer all 100% of charge carriers. So we will see it in the working. So regarding the position, it is located at the center, and regarding the doping level, this is very lightly doped and it is very thin, or it is very small in size. Next is the collector. This is located towards the right, or you can say this is the right side region of a transistor, whose function is to collect the charge carriers emitted from the emitter. This is going to collect the charge carriers. So in case of NPN transistor, the collector is going to collect the electrons, and in case of PNP transistor, the collector is going to collect the holes. Its function is to collect the charge carriers. And regarding the doping level, this is somewhat moderately doped. Moderately doped in the sense it is not heavily doped as emitter, or it is not lightly doped as in case of base. Somewhat it is moderately doped. And regarding the size, so somewhat, so here in the picture it is not shown, but collector will be somewhat large in size, so since its function is to collect all the charge carriers, so it should be large in size. I hope it is clear. This is emitter is heavily doped, base is lightly doped, and collector is moderately doped. And emitter is moderate in size, base is very small in size, and collector is large in size. So the same explanation holds good for the PNP transistor as well. So in case of PNP transistors, the charge carriers will be holes, and in case of NPN transistors, the charge carriers will be electrons. Next we see the symbols of transistors. So remember, in case of transistor, since it is a 3-terminal device, it is represented in this fashion. So here one should show the current direction. The current direction should always shown toward at the emitter terminal. So emitter terminal ellirutto alli matra ನೀವು current direction na ತೋರಿಸಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತಾ. Remember, in case of NPN transistor, the current direction or current flows towards the emitter. The arrow head here indicates current is flow the charge. In case of NPN transistor, electrons will move from emitter to collector. Since the electron movement is from emitter to collector, the conventional current direction should be taken in opposite fashion. Opposite fashions means, so current will flow from collector to emitter. That's why the arrow direction is towards the emitter. In case of PNP transistor, so since here the charge carriers are holes, so here you can see the current direction at the emitter is towards the base, because since it is a PNP transistor, So holes are emitted from the emitter and they are collected at the collector, and the conventional current direction also will be same as that of hole flow. So as the hole moves from emitter to collector, current also will be treated in the same fashion, current direction also will be treated in the same fashion. Means the current direction will be shown towards the base. The arrow it indicates the current direction. Okay. So transistor alone cannot be used for anything, so it should be biased. Unless it is biased, it cannot be used for any operation. So the major applications that we are going to see from in transistors are, it can be used as a switch or it can be used as an amplifier. So the transistors can be operated in three regions, mainly active region, cutoff region and saturation region. So whenever you want to operate the transistor in active region, remember, so as we seen in the previous case, there will be two junctions. How you bias these two junctions, based on that one, that can be operated in three different regions. The emitter to base junction, it should be forward biased, and collector to base junction also should be reverse biased. So EB junction should be forward biased and CB junction should be reverse biased, then it can be operated in active region. And if you want the transistor to be operated in cutoff region, then the both junctions, the emitter to base junction as well as the collector to base junctions, both should be reverse biased. And if you want to operate the transistor in saturation region, the both junctions should be forward biased. Emitter to base junction as well as collector to base junction should be forward biased. So as earlier I told you, the main two applications of the transistors are, it can be used as a switch and it can be used as a amplifier. So whenever you want to use the transistor as an amplifier, then you should operate the transistor in active region. So the active region, so if you operate the transistor in active region, it can be used as an amplifier. And if you want to make use of the transistor as a switch, then the transistor should be operated between these two regions, cutoff as well as saturation region. So here it can be used as a on-off switch. Okay. Then so we will study the working of NPN transistor. So as we know that, so while explaining the working of NPN or PNP transistor, it must be operated in active region in the sense, so here you can see the NPN transistor, and this is known as emitter, and the middle layer is known as base, and the right layer is known as collector. So if you want to make the transistor to be operated in active region, the emitter to base junction should be forward biased. As you can see here, the N terminal is connected to negative terminal of the battery and P terminal is connected to positive terminal of the battery. I can say the emitter to base junction is forward biased. It is forward biased. Okay. And here the base to collector junction, so here you can see the collector terminal is connected to positive terminal of the battery and the base, which is a P terminal, is connected to negative terminal of the battery, and I can say this junction is reverse biased. So since the emitter to base junction is forward biased and collector to base junction is reverse biased, I can say this is operated in active region. So remember, so whenever we do the forward biasing of the emitter to base junction, so this potential, it causes the free electrons, so which are majority in case of N type. So the free electrons in N type emitter, they flow towards the base region. So from here they flow towards the base region. This constitutes a current, that is emitter current, that is shown here. So since the electrons are moving in this fashion, the current will be in the opposite fashion. Conventional current direction will be in opposite, that is emitter, i.e. that is emitter current. Next, so as the electrons flow via P type base, they tend to combine here. They tend to combine with the holes in the P region, or you can say the base. Due to the light doping, very few electrons, that is approximately 5% of the emitted electrons are combined here with the holes in the base region. That constitutes a base current IB. So rest of the emitted electrons, means the 95% of the emitted electrons, they cross the base and they are collected at the collector terminal. So they are collected here at the collector terminal, remember. So let's say if there are 100% of the, if you consider the 100% of the electrons that are emitted from the emitter, only 5% will be combined at the base, and so 5% will be combined at the base, and the electrons, there are few electrons are attracted towards the positive terminal of the battery here. So since electrons will move in this fashion, it constitutes one more current, that is IB current, very small current, that is IB. Rest 95% will be collected at the collector terminal. So since all the electrons, 95% of the electrons that are emitted from the emitter are collected at the collector, so these electrons, they are attracted towards the positive terminal of the battery here. So since the electron movement is in this direction, current again it constitutes a current IC, which will be shown in this. The arrow, it indicates the direction in which the IC current flow. So from this current direction, from these current directions, so if you consider the base as the node, and if you apply a KCL rule, that is the sum of incoming current should be equal to the sum of outgoing currents. If you consider this as the node, so at this node the IE is an outgoing current and IB and IC are incoming currents, and if you represent with the KCL equation, I can write IE equal to IB plus IC. So here, as we seen in the construction, since this is very lightly doped, since the base is very lightly doped, very few electrons will be combined here with the holes, that will form a recombination current. This will be very small. So since IB can be treated as very small, I can say IE is almost equivalent to IC. Remember, IE and IC, they can be almost equivalent, but remember IE will be always greater than IC, but they can be treated almost equivalent because of the very small base current. Next one is the PNP transistor. As you can see, the PNP transistor, this layer is nothing but emitter terminal or emitter, and this one is referred as base, and this one is referred as collector. Here in the previous session, we have shown the majority charge carriers are as electrons, and here we should, the same expression holds good here. The working will be same, only the difference is the electrons are replaced with the holes here. So again here also this PNP transistor is acted in active region. As you can see here, the p-type layer is connected to positive terminal of the battery and n-type layer is connected to negative terminal of the battery. I can say the emitter to base junction is forward biased, and here the n-type layer of the base is connected to positive terminal of the battery, and p-type layer of the collector is connected to negative terminal of the battery. I can say this junction, the collector to base junction, is reverse biased. So since this is forward biased, so this positive terminal of the battery, it pushes the holes towards the base. So there will be a repulsion force from the battery, so that these holes will try to move towards the base region. As the base region is very lightly doped, so very few holes, that is only 5% of the emitted holes are combined at the base region, and few holes, they are attracted towards the negative terminal of the battery. This constitutes a current IB, and the whole current, as the holes are moving from emitter to base, the conventional current direction also will be treated in the same fashion, and the direction is in the same fashion, means I also should be shown like this. And here at the collector to base junctions. So here 5% are combined here, rest 95% of the holes that are emitted from the emitter terminal are collected at the collector terminal, and the collector so the holes in the collector, they are further attracted towards the negative terminal of the battery here. So since the holes are moving in this fashion, this constitutes another current, that is IC. Again, as in the previous case, so if you consider the base as the node, and if you apply a KCL equation here, so which is nothing but the sum of incoming currents is equal to sum of outgoing currents. With respect to this node, the IE current is an incoming current, and IC as well as IB current both are outgoing currents. Again, I can rewrite the equation as in the previous case. IE will be equal to IB plus IC. But remember, since the base is very lightly doped, the current that is constituted from the base region will also be very small. I can write it as IE is almost equivalent to IC. Okay. Like this, the flow of holes constitute the dominant current in PNP transistor, and the flow of electrons, they constitute the dominant current in NPN transistor. Next, as we know that the transistor has only 3 terminals, like namely emitter, base and collector. When a transistor is need to be connected in a circuit, we require 4 terminals. 2 terminals are used for providing the input, and 2 terminals are used for the used to get the output. Therefore, one terminal should be made always common to both input and output side. So depending upon which terminal is made common, there are 3 different configurations are there. Common base, where the base terminal is made common between both input and output side, and common emitter configuration. So here the common emitter, so this should be E, where the emitter terminal is made common between both input and output side, and common collector, where the collector terminal is made common between the input and output side. So in your examination, if you are asked to write only the transistor configurations, then you have to mention these configurations, and you are supposed to draw these 3 configurations. So we shall see these. Very first one is common base. So here you can see here the base is made common between the input and output side, and in case of common emitter, the emitter terminal is made common between input and output side, and in case of common collector, the collector terminal is made common between input and output side. So now we should also tell the input current and the input voltage, and output current as well as output voltage with respect to these configurations. Remember, in case of common base, the input voltage is applied between the emitter and base terminal, and the input current will be IE. Input current will be obviously IE, and output is taken between the collector and base, means the output voltage is nothing but VCB, that is the voltage between the collector and base, and the output current is nothing but IC. Similarly, with respect to common emitter, the input voltage is applied between the base and emitter, that is VBE, and the output voltage is taken between the collector and emitter, that is VCE, and the input current will be IB. Input current is IB, and the output current here also it will be IC only. And in case of common collector, with respect to common collector, so here the input voltage is applied between the base and collector, and output voltage is taken between the emitter and collector's terminal, and here also the input current will be IB only, and the output current will be IE. So here, so in your examination, you are supposed to draw these diagrams. Also, you should mention which all are the input currents and output currents, and input voltage and output voltage with respect to these three configurations. Okay. For your syllabus, we will be studying in detail the two configurations, that is the common base configuration as well as the common emitter configuration. So very first one is common base configuration. So as you can see here, the base terminal is made common between the input and output side. So here we will be applying input and here we will be getting the output. You can see the detailed diagram here also. So this is an NPN transistor. Terminal is made common, or the base terminal is made common between the input and output side. Here you can note down the IE is the input current, IC is the output current, VB is the input voltage, and VCB is the output voltage. Remember, while explaining the configurations, you should always operate the transistor in active region. You can see here the N type layer is connected to negative terminal, and P type layer, that is the base, is connected to positive terminal of the battery source. I can say the emitter to base junction is forward biased, and you can see here the N is connected at the positive terminal of the battery source and P is connected to negative terminal of the battery source. I can say this is operated in reverse bias. Next, in case of common base configurations, we should tell the current amplification factor. So the current amplification factor for common base, it is referred as alpha, and the current amplification factor for common emitter, it is referred as beta, and the current amplification factor for common collector configuration, it is referred as gamma. Okay, gamma, alpha, beta and gamma. What is alpha here? So alpha, current amplification, as you can see here, our current amplification factor is nothing but the output current divided by input current. Output current divided by input current. As you can see here, the output current is IC and the input current is IE here. It is defined as, it is the ratio of change in the collector current to the change in the emitter current, that is alpha equal to delta IC divided by delta IE. So delta here, it indicates the change in the collector current to the change in the emitter current. Remember, as we say here, always the IE is greater than IC. IE is greater than IC, so that this ratio will always result a value less than 1. So since the denominator is larger than the numerator here, it's, as you can see here, IE is always greater than IC. I can refer the value, it will be always less than 1, so that its value ranges from 0.9 to 0.99 and it will be never equal to 1, because as we have seen in the operation or working, so if 100% of the electrons or if 100% of the charge carriers are emitted from the emitter, 5% will get combined at the base and rest 95% will reach at the collector. Means, so IC can be 95% of IE, but it cannot be 100% of IE. Okay. So then we see the characteristics, the transistor characteristics. These are nothing but the curves that are plotted between the various values of input and output currents as well as voltage. So the transistor characteristics can be studied in 2 steps, or you can say 2 steps. Okay. The first one is input characteristics and second one is output characteristics. Remember, these definitions will be same for common emitter also. Input characteristics are nothing but these are the curves. So we will be plotting a curve, or the relationships or the behavior of input will be studied with their characteristics. Okay. So input circuit characteristics andre ಏನಾಗುತ್ತಪ್ಪ ಇಲ್ಲಂದ್ರೆ it tells the relationship between input voltage and input current for a given output voltage. Here the output voltage will be maintained constant with for different output voltages, what is the relationship between input voltage and input current will be studied in the input characteristics. Regarding output characteristics, these are the curves that gives the relationship between output voltage and output current for a given input current. For different values of input current, we will be plotting the curves between the output voltages and output current. So first one is nothing but input characteristics of CB configuration. As we have told in the previous case, this gives the relationship between input voltage and input current for a given output voltage. In case of CB configuration, the input current is I and the input voltage is VB and the output voltage will be VCB. For a given constant VCB voltage, we will be plotting the curves for different values of VB, what will be the current of I. So here we have plotted a curve. So as you can see here, I versus VB versus I for different VCB values. So here while writing a note on input characteristics, you have to explain a few characteristics or you have to explain few points with respect to these characteristics curves. Very first one is we have to define what is the input resistance, that is Ri. So Ri is nothing but, resistance is nothing but, as from the Ohm's law you can say that is V by I, voltage divided by current. So here voltage is VB and the current is referred as I. Ri will be equal to, input resistance is nothing but, it is the ratio of a change in the sense you have to note it, you have to prefix it with delta. It is the ratio of change in emitter to base voltage to the resulting change in emitter current at constant VCB. Means, so here VCB, for different values of VCB we will be getting the different Ri values. So here VCB is kept constant here. From these characteristics, we have to note down few points. Very first point is, so how the circuit behavior is here, how the characteristics are here plotted anta nododadre. These characteristics curves are very similar to the diode operation in forward bias condition. So as we seen in the diode in the previous chapter, till the cut-in voltage is achieved, since the applied voltage is less than the cut-in voltage or knee voltage, the current, very small or minimal current will flow. After the cut-in voltage, there will be a sudden exponential rise in the current will be observed. The response is very similar to the diode which is operated in the forward bias. Now what happens if we increase the VCB value? As you can see the curves here, if you increase the VCB value, let's say here the first curve, for plotting the first curve we kept the VCB value to 0 volt. For plotting the second curve we kept the VCB value to 8 volt, then 18 volt. It is gradually increased. So here as you can see, as the VCB is increased, the curve is shifting upwards, or you can say the curve it shifts towards the y-axis. It is shifting upwards. That is the second point. And the third point, so it can be observed that there is a slight increase in the emitter current. You can see emitter current is slightly increased with increase in VCB value. Thus we can say IE is independent of VCB. IE ಏನಿಲ್ಲ VCB ಮೇಲೆ ಡಿಪೆಂಡ್ ಆಗ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು, because there is a slight increase in the current is observed here. ನೋಡ್ರಿ, for VCB equal to 0 volt, the curve is like this, IE value is plotted like this. For VCB equal to 8 volt, again another curve is plotted like this. There is a very slight difference in the IE current is observed here. That's why we can say IE is almost independent of VCB and IE depends only upon the VBE. Very first point ನೀವು ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ, first we will tell the definition of RI. ಸೊ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ವಿ ವಿಲ್ ಆರ್ ಐ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಇನ್ಪುಟ್ ರೆಸಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್, ವೆದರ್ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ಆರ್ ಲಾರ್ಜ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕಾಗತ್ತಾ. ಸೊ ಸಿನ್ಸ್ ವಿತ್ ಎ ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಇನ್ ವಿ ಬಿ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ದ ಐ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸಸ್ ಸಡನ್ಲಿ ಅಂದಾಗ, ಸೊ ಅಬ್ವಿಯಸ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತಾ, ದ ಇನ್ಪುಟ್ ರೆಸಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ವೆರಿ ಸ್ಮಾಲ್. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಇನ್ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್, ಹೌ ದ ಐ ಇ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ವೇರೀಸ್ ವಿತ್ ರೆಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ ಟು ವಿ ಬಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕಾಗತ್ತಾ. ಥರ್ಡ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಹೌ ಐ ಇ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ದ ಡಿಪೆಂಡೆನ್ಸಿ ಬಿಟ್ವೀನ್ ಐ ಇ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ವಿ ಸಿ ಬಿ ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕಾಗತ್ತಾ. ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ದ ಡಿಪೆಂಡೆನ್ಸಿ ಆಫ್ ಐ ಇ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ವಿ ಬಿ ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕಾಗತ್ತಾ. ಥರ್ಡ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ದ ಡಿಪೆಂಡೆನ್ಸಿ ಆಫ್ ಐ ಇ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ವಿ ಸಿ ಬಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕಾಗತ್ತಾ. ದೀಸ್ ಆರ್ ದಿ ಇನ್ಪುಟ್ ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರಿಸ್ಟಿಕ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಸಿ ಬಿ ಕಾನ್ಫಿಗರೇಷನ್ಸ್. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್, in case of output configuration, you can say, so the output characteristics are divided into three regions. Very first one is saturation region, active region and cutoff region. How the output characteristics are plotted anta nododadra, so output characteristics describe the relationship between output current. So output current in CB is nothing but IC, and output voltage, that is VCB, for constant IE value. For different IE values, different constant IE values, we will be plotting the IC current versus VCB voltages. So first we shall tell the definition of output resistance here, that is R0. R0 will be nothing but, so as from the Ohm's law, R is nothing but V by I. Here voltage is nothing but VCB and current is nothing but IC. So R0 is defined as, output resistance R0 is nothing but, it is the ratio of change in VCB to the resulting change in IC, at constant IE. So here IE is made constant. So as you can see here, you are getting a flat curve here, you are getting almost a straight line curve, means, so with the increase in VCB value, you are not getting a significant amount of increase in the IC current, you are getting a straight line, it in the sense, so IC is independent of VCB, or you can say IC is independent of VCB. Andra, so numerator can be very high, but IC will be constant. So even though you can see here at a 0, for let's consider a case for I equal to 1 milliampere. So here at the 0 volt of VCB, you are getting a current of 1 milliamps. For 2 volt also you are getting 1 milliamps. For even 14 volts also you are getting only 1 milliamp. You can say IC is almost independent of VCB. That's why I can say R0 is very high. R0 will be very high. R0 is very high. Next, we will define the three reasons of operation. Very first one is active reason. So here you can see this is an active reason. To operate the transistor in active reason, so we should make the emitter to base junction in forward bias, and the collector to base junction should be reverse bias, so that we can operate the transistor in active reason. Regarding saturation reason, so if you want the transistor to be operated in saturation reason, both the junctions should be forward bias. Both the junctions, in the sense the emitter to base junction as well as the collector to base junctions, both should be forward bias. Then we can operate the transistor in saturation region. And in order to operate the transistor in cutoff region, so both the junctions should be reverse bias. The collector to base junction as well as the emitter base junction should be reverse bias. And the region in the characteristics curves, the region below I equal to 0. So this is the region. So this can be referred as cutoff region. In this cutoff region, IC value will be almost equal to 0. The next configuration is common emitter configuration. So here the emitter terminal is made common. Emitter terminal is made common between the input and output. You can see here the emitter terminal is made common between input and output. So here again we have to note down the different current and voltage values. So IB is nothing but input current here, and VB is nothing but input voltage, and IC is referred as an output current, and VC value is referred as output voltage. The emitter terminal is made common here. Again, in order to understand the behavior of the transistor in common emitter configuration, we should study their characteristics. Again, the characteristics, as in the previous case, they are classified into two types: input and output characteristics. So first we shall see the input characteristics of CE configuration. In case of input configuration, here it gives the relationship between the input current IB and the input voltage VB at constant output voltages, that is VCE. So here we have plotted different curves for different constant output voltages, that is 0 volt, 10 volt and 20 volt. Again here also we have to define the input resistance, that is Ri. Ri will be given as the input voltage, that is change in the input voltage, that is VPE, to the resulting change in the current, that is IB, at constant output voltage, that is VC is maintained constant. So after telling this, now we have to tell whether this Ri value is small or large. So here you can see, so with a slight increase in VB value, all of a sudden the current is going to rise. So the behavior is very similar to that of the diode characteristics whenever it is operated in forward bias condition. So with a small increase in VB value, there is a sudden rise in the IB current is observed, means again here also Ri will be small only. Ri will be small, means numerator is with a small numerator change, there is a large change is observed in the denominator term. I can refer it as Ri is very small. Second point. So in second point, now we have to tell the relationship between the input current and the input voltage. So till the cut-in voltage is reached, or till the cut-in voltage ಆಗೋ ತನಕ ಏನಿತ್ತು, current will be very small. After the applied voltage is greater than the cut-in voltage, you can see there is a exponential increase in the current is observed. That's why I can refer as Ri will be very small, and IB will be totally dependent upon VB. IB dependence ಅಂತ ಹೇಳೋದಾದ್ರೆ IB is dependent on VB ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು. And Ri will be small only. Ri ಏನಿರುತ್ತಾ, small ಇರುತ್ತಾ, but so here you have to do a comparison. The Ri value, you have to make an Ri comparisons, input resistance comparison between the CE and CB configuration. In case of CB configuration, with a small increase in VB value, you will be saying the sudden rise is current is observed, but here the current is rising, at slower rate compared to that of CB configuration. I can say, so since the current is rising at the slower rate, I can say the Ri value of CE is greater than that of Ri value of CB. So Ri is small only, Ri small irata, but if you do a comparison between the CE and CB configuration, this value is larger than, or I can say Ri in CE is larger than Ri value in CB. Third point, So here, as the output voltage is increased, as the output voltage is increased, the curve is shifting downwards, or you can say the curve is shifting towards the x-axis. Curve is shifting towards the x-axis, or you can say curve is shifting downwards. Curve is shifting downwards. That is the third. The fourth point, for a fixed value of VB, let's consider somewhere here is a fixed value. I have considered this portion as a fixed VB value. At this VB fixed version of VB value, with increase in VC, IB is getting decreased. Nodabodu IB anagagatadilli decrease akonta untade. That is the fourth point. So one more point we have forgotten. So here, as I told you in the previous case, we have to give a definition for current amplification factor beta. So here beta is nothing but the ratio of change in the output current to the change in the input current. So it is given by delta IC divided by delta IB. So if you compare the collector and base here, collector current and base current, collector current will be much more larger than the base current. So that's why numerator is always larger than denominator. I can say the beta value, you will get a beta value with this ratio, you will get always the beta value greater than 1. Typically for C configuration, the beta value may range from 2 to 500. Next is the output characteristics of transistor in C configuration. So here we will be plotting a curve for different values of IC against the VC value at constant input currents, that is IB. So IB is kept constant. For different constant of IB values, we will be plotting the IC versus VC. So now here also we have to define R0. So that is output resistance. R0 is nothing but it is delta VC to the resulting change in delta IC value, output voltage divided by output current at constant input current, that is IB. So here if you consider the R0 value, so here initially at the initial period of time, for increase in VC value, you are not getting a flat curve here, means the IC value is getting increase with respect to VC, but there is a small increase is observed, but which was not in case of CB. You were getting a flat curve in case of CB configuration, but here you are getting a slight increase in the curve is observed, or you can say R0 value is smaller than R0 value of C configuration is smaller than that of R0 value of CB configuration. Obviously here also R0 will be there, R0 will be large only, but the thing is, so whether it is larger than that of CB or not, so that you have to tell here. R0 is large only, but R0 of C is smaller than that of R0 of CB configuration. This point you have to note it down. So here you have noted one more point here. Ri input resistance of C configuration is larger than that of input resistance of CB, but in reverse here in case of output configuration, output characteristics, so here you can say the output resistance of C is smaller than output resistance of CB, because you are getting a slight increase in the curve and you are getting a flat curve in case of CB configuration. So here also the transistor can be operated in 3 different modes, that is saturation region, active region, as well as cutoff region. So whenever you want to operate the transistor in saturation region or saturation mode, you have to make the emitter to base junction as well as the collector to base junction forward biased. In order to make your transistor to be operated in active region or active mode, the emitter to base junction should be forward biased and collector to base junction should be reverse biased. and whenever you want to make the transistor to be operated in cutoff region or cutoff mode, so here the both junctions, that is collector to base junction and emitter to base junction, should be reverse biased. And in the curve you can see here the region below IB equal to 0 microamps, the shaded region, this region is nothing but cutoff region. Okay, thank you.